So when you're looking at the bigger picture, I know you've talked about how you discovered and the readings that you were going into, that everything is linked, and that, for example, diseases, when you're looking at natural cures, issues, complications that we have within our bodies are often linked. It's not just one incident in isolation. Can you talk to us a little bit more about that and the fascinating discoveries that you've made?
Let me pick one example out of cardiology. If somebody has a coronary heart disease and suffering from an ischemia, a heart attack, what cardiologists around the world nowadays usually know is that most of those patients have a depression. Most of them have a depression. So if we look at the coronary heart disease only, we are missing the other part. We are missing the biography part within this history of this patient. And when I decided to widen, to make my viewpoint broader, I decided this because I wanted to have a broad vision on life, on health, on disease. And one thing that struck me, and I've seen this type of patients again and again, and I take just a simple example. There is a farmer, 250 pounds, a red, thick, smiling, powerful, plethoric face, and always, good-tempered. And he was drinking beer and schnapps, as we call it in our country. And he was eating a lot of pork, that's supposed not to be that healthy. And he basically becomes 94 years, having lived a beautiful life, feeling good all the time, more or less. And this is in some kind of a contradiction to what's usually thought to be a healthy life. And then there is a young lady, thin, a little bit pale, melancholic, this kind of young lady, and she does everything right. She eats right, like no meat and no eggs and no fish. And she does sports, and she goes to church regularly, and she thinks she is living a life that pleases God. And at the age of 54, she becomes sick, seriously sick. She has a chronic gut disease, let's say. And
why?
Why that?
Yeah.
Exactly. And this was my question that I had at the time. Why this farmer lives such a beautiful life, feeling good all the time, and she lives a healthy life and feeling bad, more or less, all the time. And then this led me to, there must be something going on between our ears that's deciding what type of life do we live. And this led me to mindset training.
And so the reason that the farmer who's typically unhealthy and this young girl, and who gets to 54 but has lived what typically would be perceived as a healthy life, the difference is mindset?
I assume so.
Okay.
I assume so. And because I've seen people who had a history of cancer, and a lady in her late 40s had a breast cancer, and she didn't know why. And I kind of saw a black cloud above her. And I shared this with her, and she said, "I don't know what you're talking about." I said, "I see a black cloud above you." And of course, I don't know if this is right or wrong, but that's what I see.
It's your perception.
It is my perception, exactly. And then we agreed that she would enter mindset training. And then I think after the third or the fourth session, she came up with a black cloud. When she was 12, her sister, who was 14 at that time, died. And she, as many sisters and brothers do, had thought, I would be so glad if she were dead. And now she had a bad conscience, and she thought, because she had thought this, it happened.
Oh my goodness.
And this was the black cloud. And as soon as she realized that this was nothing, she didn't cause anything with her sister. Deep inside, this feeling. And then she underwent a training, and after 15 sessions or so, she said, well, I don't think there is any black cloud above me anymore. And I said, well, I can't see any yet as well.
Oh.
Yeah. So, and this is now 15 years ago. So this is a very, very pleasant story in my experience. And this is how I widened my perspective. And this basically led me to writing a book. And that's the book that became a best-selling book in 3 countries, Germany, UK, and the US. And I'm very happy, and I'm very glad how well it has been perceived by the public. So there I'm sharing basically what I'm doing when I'm doing mindset training.
Yeah, and we've spoken then about this woman that you recommended mindset training, or mindset brain tuning, as you call it. So tell us a little bit about that in the book, and in your you have a basic a 6 course, 6 step course, or 12 weeks.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, 6 steps over 12 weeks. And if somebody was going to come to you from zero at a mindset brain tuning point, what can they expect on this journey with you?
One day, a top manager of Shell Germany, who was living in the vicinity of my office, he came to me, and he had a kind of a stiff upper lip, and he looked a little bit down and said, well, let's see what he has to say. He came because he had psychosomatic disease, let's call it disease, like tinnitus, like vertigo, like, like heartburn, like this. And he has seen lots of professors, and they all couldn't basically help him. And he came, he saw a last chance, and because I was in his vicinity and I had a reputation, he's doing mindset brain tuning, let's have a try. And he came and he looked a little bit from upside down, and I said, well, if you come this way, you are not prepared to learn anything. So I confronted him, very uncomfortably for him. I confronted him with a question. If you want to learn something from me, you're welcome. If you want to teach me something, we better don't get involved.
Yeah.
And he looked a little bit astounded, and then, as an experienced negotiator, he said, well, if I ask you a question, are you sure you can answer in 1 sentence?
Yeah.
I said, yeah, sure. And he asked me, what do you want to train me in? And I said, I'm going to train you on focusing what you want instead of focusing what you do not want. And this was the type of an answer that he was hoping for. And he started smiling and said, deal.
So
My name is Dr. Wulff, a leading expert in mindset transformation and personal success. By joining me, you will unlock proven strategies to elevate your mindset and transform your life. Explore more in the video description.